Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Tech 411. A lot of people are getting frustrated with Windows lately. Ads, AI features, hardware requirements, cost, performance issues. And meanwhile, Linux keeps getting more recommendations than ever as the alternative to Windows. But here's the problem. Most videos out there on YouTube right now are made by Linux enthusiasts. So I wanted to try one of the more beginner-friendly Linux operating systems and answer the question, could a normal Windows user actually daily drive with this operating system? Well, today we're going to find that out. Okay, folks, so just want to look quickly at the Zorin OS website. You can see that we have a core version and we have a pro version. There's also an education version. I'm not going to get too much into that here. That is also free as is the core version. Now, the pro version has some additional benefits. You get some additional software. You also are supporting the future development of Zorin OS, which is important. You get some pro-grade creative tools, and it doesn't show it on here, but you get some additional UI layout options as well with the pro version of Zorin OS. The default, which looks very similar to Windows 11 when I click on things here. So this is pretty cool. We have this layout, which changes things slightly. We have yet another layout. This is going to make it kind of like a show apps. This is going to be similar to Ubuntu. If you've ever used Ubuntu, this is how it's laid out. So let's go back to the appearance. Then you have yet another option, which is this here. And when I click there, that's when it exposes my dock and all my apps. The lighter theme. I like the darker theme, especially on mobile devices, because it uses the least amount of energy. Now, next we have effects. And under effects, I have jelly mode enabled, and also animations enabled. On some older systems, you may want to disable these functions. But the jelly, if you're wondering what that is, that's when I shake this window back and forth, it jiggles, which I think is pretty cool. We can customize the look and feel of our windows. A lot of customization in here. Now, the next thing I want to get into is performance. Now, the system we're on here has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it has 2 cores. It has one processor with 2 cores, so it's a dual core system. Not a very powerful system, but we can see that it's running very well on this system. It does not take a lot of resources. So if you have an older system, maybe you have an older system that was running Windows 10 that's ended support and you don't want to upgrade the hardware to go to Windows 11, this is a really good alternative to purchasing a whole new system. You can use that system for several more years, really, by installing the Zorin OS. Next, let's take a look at the Start menu. This is the thing that pretty much all Windows users are going to be familiar with. This is where you go to access all your apps. We have traditional Start menu in here. We have our settings. So if we go into our settings, we're going to have something, what used to be called the control panel is now the settings app on Windows 11. And this is where we're going to come in and adjust all the settings for our system. Like, for example, the power settings, the sound, the display settings. We can even search for settings. Zorin has an app store, and there's a link to it down here, just almost exactly like the Microsoft Store, but this is the Zorin OS version. For example, we have the Adobe Reader in here. So lots of apps that are available for this operating system. If you're concerned about apps, it's not really something you need to be too concerned about on Zorin. They have a ton of different apps. When we go into the browser, as I explained, Brave is the default browser that's installed with Zorin. You can see this is very snappy. I'm going to go into our settings in here in Brave. We have pretty much all the same settings we would have on a Windows device in here with Brave. If I go to YouTube, for example, and pull up the YouTube website, something that I really like about Brave. I'll link to the video that I did diving deep into Brave and all its features and functions. I think that's something that's really good to know about, how it protects you, but we can see that it's blocking things from websites that may invade our privacy, And we can control that by clicking on the shields icon up here, which I just love Brave. So I'm really happy that Zorin includes that with their operating system. And we're just going to search for Zorin OS. See what happens. You see it comes right up. Next, we have a file explorer. So just like Windows, you have an explorer where you can go in, explore the drive or drives, especially if you plug in a thumb drive or an external drive. You can come in here and you can navigate all the different files and folders on your device. It's a little bit different in you use this other locations selection to jump from drive to drive, but this is basically our internal hard drive on the system. This is going to look a little bit different than Windows, but again, the basic usability of it is very similar. And if you've ever used Chrome OS, it's very similar to that as well. So not a lot of differences. The only differences are going to be the apps that you run. But when I dive into here, I'm seeing this is very similar to Windows. The start menu, we navigate through a lot of different things that way. We do have an Office suite that's built in. I've been recommending LibreOffice as a free Office suite option for years now. And Zorin includes that with their operating system. We have the Evolution email reader, and they even have a built-in calendar as well. So just for giggles here, I'm going to open this up, and we can see the calendar, and I can actually add events from within here. So pretty cool. And if you go into your online accounts, and I connect something like my Google account or my Microsoft 365 account, it will synchronize my calendar with those accounts. So pretty powerful for a free operating system. Very similar to Windows. So I click over here, it brings up my calendar. I can turn on Do Not Disturb. We have a whole menu in here that allows me to do a bunch of different things. I can turn my network adapter on and off. Your Wi-Fi would show up here as well if you had a Wi-Fi adapter. I can change the display mode. I can change the power mode. I can jump right to my settings. I can take a screenshot. I can lock the device, and I can reboot or power it off. So a lot of power right there at your fingertips right there. We do have support for multiple desktops. So if you are someone that likes to be productive with multiple different workspaces, you can access your different workspaces from here. Who is this good for? This is good for somebody who uses a system for basic tasks, managing calendar, doing email, doing word processing, Office documents, and doing some stuff on the web. If you're someone who is downloading a lot of applications from untrusted sources off the internet and not downloading them through this app store, it's probably not the best choice. And the reason is, and a lot of folks are going to tell me down in the comments section that Linux doesn't need antivirus. Well, I'm here to tell you that the more popular Linux becomes, the more of a target it is. If you're using this system connected to the internet and you don't have antivirus, that is a little bit more of a risk than having a proper antivirus protection suite. Where you can increase your security is by locking down your browser. And that's why I think Brave is a win here. So you can go into Brave and you can go into your privacy and security and into your shields, and you can increase these security settings quite a bit to protect you. But this is not going to be for everybody. The last thing I'm going to mention also is the software compatibility. There's a lot of apps out there that are usually Windows or Mac only. That includes the antivirus that we just talked about. So if you're using creative apps like Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere, those are not going to work on a Linux system. So that may prevent you from being able to run this. It's probably not going to be the best in that situation. But this OS is very promising, and I think it will be good for a lot of people in a lot of scenarios. So that's going to do it for this one, folks. So what is my final verdict? My final verdict is going to be kind of mixed. I don't think Linux is ready for absolutely everyone just yet, but I genuinely think Zorin might be ready for a lot more people than I originally expected. What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments section. Let us know if you would switch, or if you've made the switch, what you think of Zorin, or if there's any other alternatives out there to Windows that you think would work better. We always love to hear from you down in the comments section. Folks, remember to hit that like button so others can find us easier on YouTube. Click on subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified anytime we add new content. Hug the people you love. We will see you next time.